Okay, we're recording and we're playing. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
Well, don't keep us in suspense, Alpine. Why'd you treat us to this open house? And who's the barefoot stranger?
Some kind of fungus.
The morning stream, the morning stream, the morning stream, the morning stream, morning stream, morning stream.
This is the Morning Stream. Do you like penicillin on your pizza?
The morning stream, morning stream, morning stream.
Hey everyone, welcome to the morning stream. It is Monday, June 15th. Half the month over already in June of 2020. I'm Scott Johnson. He's Brian Ibbett. Hi.
That's right. It's the Ides of June, Scott. The Ides of June.
Isn't that weird though? Halfway through June? When did
I know?
When did that happen?
It feels like it feels like June just started.
I don't like it, dude. I don't like that
I
one
don't
bit.
either. If time is going to go, I wish time would make up its mind. Either it's going to go really slowly,
Yeah.
and make it feel like every month is an entire year, or it's going to go fast. I can't have it do both. I can't have it feel like, my God, June was has been a long year, but boy, has it gone fast.
Yeah, pick a lane there, June. Decide who you're going to be, what you're going to be, and then be that thing, and then stay in that lane. Anyway, hey, what's going on, everybody? We're here. We got a show to do. It's a whole new week of TMS. It's fine. Everything's fine, Brian. It's fine. You know,
Fine.
our state's having a huge COVID spike because everybody went and did stuff on Mother's Day and on Memorial
Well,
Day.
it's the annual Utah Mother's Day face licking competition, and
Right.
that's usually a recipe for disaster.
It gets us every frickin' time, every year. When you lick the face, you get a case. Here's the thing. What happens here is my wife was supposed to. Okay, so this is a long story, but a while back she was invited to go to Lake Powell with a friend of hers to help get their boat ready for the year. And she's done this before, did it last year, loved it, had a great time. She likes doing that. I'm like, sweet, go ahead, no problem, I'll cover things here. Then that trip got canceled last second for unrelated reasons to what I'm about to tell you. However, the people that still went, there was a whole separate boat with 16 additional people that were going to be on this houseboat along with everybody else. They went, and it ended yesterday, and they found out
Oh no!
that they had two people with them on that trip the whole time. Maybe it was just one. I thought it was two. One or two people the whole time that had COVID and didn't know it. And now and they were all super tight knit inside the houseboat and all hanging out and everything. So now there's like 16 people are probably going to get the damn thing or something close to it. And it's just a bunch of So my wife didn't go. We dodged that bullet. It's fine.
Yeah.
We're here. We got it. And
Well, this is good because the World Health Organization has been saying we need some more data about asymptomatic people because we keep saying the wrong thing and we have to backtrack on stuff we announce. So
they keep
get the WHO involved.
They do keep. Can we get Pete Townsend's belly involved? Can he help as well?
That's always involved. Yes.
Yeah, all right.
You can't not have Pete Townsend's belly involved.
It's always involved. It's almost detached the way it swung around. It almost fell off. Anyway, the point is, she didn't go, so everything's fine that way. Instead, this weekend, I knew we were going to do this, but I'd forgotten how much of a handful it can be. I don't know the last time you had to do a 48 to 72 hour watch of a 16-month-old, but turns out they're highly mobile. They want to open everything, and they want to put all sorts of stuff in their mouth. It's like having a baby again, and it was hard. Like, Van is awesome, don't get me wrong. He's the sweetest, happiest, wonderful little kid, but when you've got 72 straight hours of watching a kid, you're back in full young parent mode, and they poop every 10 minutes, it feels like. They are picky about their food. They don't want to go down for their nap. They get up.
Nope. They're constantly trudging around, grabbing the things you don't want them to grab. And
he opened every door and every drawer he could find.
Yeah.
That's the stage.
You know why? Because you guys don't have child locks on them anymore. You probably had them when Nick and Carter and Taylor were kids.
Yeah.
Although I guess it wasn't in this house, the house you're in now.
Yeah, that was like 3 houses ago. And even then, they were all like temporary plasticky things that we then took off. Right now, I'm thinking we ought to get some whenever he's here because he's really into freaking everything. A delight and none of it was work. It all felt fine. It's just that I got nothing else done.
Yeah.
Nothing. The whole weekend, other than Film Sack getting recorded, just got kiboshed. We were supposed to do There Will Be Dungeons last night, but Bo wasn't feeling well, so that got canceled. But yeah, like any other time that was like, all right, am I not working at this very moment? Okay, cool. Well, then I'm helping with the baby. I'm holding the baby. I'm taking him on a walk. Kim's changing his diaper. I'm feeding him. Like it was just like it was like a big flashback. It was great. Yeah, good times.
That's what grandparents are for. They're there to remember what it was like and be reminded of what it was like when the kids whose kids they're watching were kids,
and then send them home 2 days
right.
later. Although I will say this, the kid goes down at 8:30 and doesn't wake up till 7:30 the next morning. Just every night sleeps like a solid brick. Yeah, it's great. It's just great. And he's got
that's impressive.
He also learned a new thing while he's with us, so that's what I like. It means we're being influential. So whenever the dogs bark for no reason, Kim's always shushing them, right? So now, if he hears a dog bark anywhere in the neighborhood, could be 20 blocks that way, it doesn't matter. Even the hint of a dog barking, he'll stop whatever he's doing and go, shh, shh. That's
great. Awesome. He just learned to do.
Yeah, did it this weekend.
Technique. Do Taylor and Dylan have a dog?
They did. They had remember what's her name now? Izzy. Izzy the pit bull.
Izzy, of course. Yeah, how could I forget Izzy the pit bull?
But Izzy the pit bull had a severe jealousy problem when the baby came.
Oh, yeah.
And they ended up finding her the happiest home that still like checks with them weekly with like photos and stuff with other dogs.
Went to live at a farm upstate.
Kind of, yeah, sort of. But a real one.
but really went to live at a farm upstate.
Yeah, a literal place that is got like I guess they've got 3 or 4 pit bulls. They've got this huge yard to run in. It's like great. So she's an awesome dog, but she lost it when the baby came and couldn't get the attention she needed, and she just started moaning and tearing stuff up and ripping carpet apart and just stuff to get attention, and it was just too much. So they were like, all right, we got to find her a home. Taylor was completely destroyed about it, but it turned out okay. She's in a happy place. She has like a sister dog that hangs with her all the time now. Seems happy as ever. It's all good. All good in the hood.
Good.
All right.
I always wonder what dogs remember of their previous owners. Like if they're in this brand new place and it's like, and cats too, right? I can't remember a life before living here at this great farm with all these other dogs and these people. And
do you think they have? I always want to be in a dog's brain for just 10 minutes. Let me just get in there.
Yeah.
Is it so much to ask?
Too.
I just want to be in there.
Remus is now living over, with Tristan and his girlfriend and their roommates over in that new apartment.
Yeah.
And we went over there to bring over a dresser and saw him, and he was like, "Oh, hey," but it wasn't like a, "Oh, hey, I remember you guys."
Mm-hmm.
It was more like a, "Oh, hey, people that I don't recognize, I've never seen before in my life." Dang it! I vacuumed up so much of your fur behind the old drawer system that was over here. You better remember me.
Yeah, that's the thing, and I don't know that they do. I think they live in the moment, like Rainbow Bright just said, but also, well, I don't know. You see these videos of like, a guy coming home from Afghanistan and he hasn't seen his dog in 2 years during the tour, and then the dog just loses it for this guy.
Yeah, that's true.
So maybe it's a combination of like smells and. Those kinds of things are what triggers their memories or triggers their feelings of like, oh yeah, right, this is the person I like the most or whatever. Maybe that's what happens.
It makes me feel better to think it's like that. So let's say it's like
okay,
that.
It's like that. We'll just say it's like that.
Let's just say it's like that.
We have a couple of dog experts in the audience. They'll probably write in and tell us.
I'm sure
if we're wrong or not. Anyway, that was most of my weekend. That and getting major allergies. The freaking whatever's in the air right now is just murder. And it's making me sneeze.
Grasses, trees, or molds. One of those is on the rise right now.
Probably grasses where I live, I'm thinking. Because there's a bunch of fresh, new growth that's like along the paths and things that I walk and that sort of thing. Hey, I had an update, though, for you.
Yes. I want to hear about this because you had a little event that you went to that you were waffling on attending.
Yeah, so I was kind of waffling.
Yes.
This is, we talked about it on PM, so since a lot of you don't hear that show, if you don't support us on Patreon, here's the gist of it. I was invited to like a little backyard, back alley, sort of where all these roads and people's driveways sort of converge behind us. I was invited to a little neighborhood barbecue hangout thing. And it was just like a nice little, hey, if you live in the area, come on over. Tell us how many burgers you're going to eat, or if you want hot dogs, we'll have it ready for you, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And I thought, oh, cool. All right, who's invited? And then I realized, oh, man, one of the people barbecuing is Tesla Guy. And you all know all the old stories about Tesla Guy.
Yeah, there's been a little bit of back and forth between you and the Tesla neighbors.
Yeah. First it was,
loud noises and yelling and
certain swear words were maybe involved, that sort of thing. Right. So we were kind of on the ups with them in that they were really nice right around Halloween when we saw them. They came to the house and brought their 2 kids, and we thought that was a good sign, because previous to that, when it was still snowing, Kim helped get his freaking Tesla off the snowbank that he was kind of trapped on over at his place. So we felt like a couple of good deeds may have softened up the joint a little bit, right?
Right. But boy, hard to get over those snow piles when you've got a couple AA batteries under the hood.
Yeah,
Need a little weight.
Yeah, it turns out it's not so easy. I wonder how that truck would do. Probably better, the Tesla truck.
Probably.
Yeah, one would think. But anyway,
the Cybertruck.
Yeah, the Cybertruck.
The broken windshield, the broken side window.
Yeah, the one that looks like Tron made it. That one.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we had all that back and forth and stuff. But I'm very much a person who, even if I get into a big row with somebody, I'm totally cool bearing the hatchet. But I didn't know what their willingness was, so we haven't really talked to them since then. We had that one awkward moment at the pool before pools were a thing I never go to again, where they were there and they just kind of stared at us, and it was weird. But anyway, so I find out they're going to be there. So I'm like, oh, I don't know, is this going to be awkward? Is it going to come up or whatever? Here's what happened. Okay, first of all, our plan to have me put a slit in my mask and insert a hot dog through the mask didn't happen, because before we went over there, I was looking out the window going, I need to see who's wearing masks. If nobody's wearing masks and I pull that stunt, that's going to be weird.
Because am I the only one showing up wearing a mask? I know, isn't that?
It's a little weird. We still left and went over there with masks. We ate with them off.
Yeah. You kind of.
But nobody else is wearing them, and we are all spread apart. So they all had that in mind, right? The point was to keep everybody in distant, whatever. Mm-hmm. And so, but my slit and hot dog plan gone. It's not happening.
Okay. All right.
I know. I was really into it.
I'm keeping my nice, crisp $50 PayPal bucks.
Yeah. What president's on there? What president's face do we put on the PayPal?
President Zuckerberg.
Okay.
On the $50 PayPal.
President Musk. Anyway.
Right. Exactly.
Didn't Elon Musk founded PayPal? Didn't he?
He was involved, wasn't he?
Or he was a major investor or something? Hold on. Elon Musk.
He was involved.
Oh, yeah, he's co-founder. That's where he made all his money. All right. Well, I'm glad that my fees helped him. Anyway.
That's right.
Really glad that helped build
7% at a time. Or whatever.
Your SpaceX empire. Anyway.
That's right.
So, back to the point. So we're there, and this his name is Dan, by the way.
Okay.
This is the first time I learned that. I learned that his name is Dan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So all this time, it wasn't that you just preferred calling him
Tesla
neighbor.
No.
It was just that you didn't know what his real name was.
Didn't know his real name.
Calling him Tesla neighbor.
Yeah, we'll probably still call him that. But anyway, one of the first things that happens is he starts talking to me, and we are having a conversation as if we'd never had this altercation. It's as if it never happened. There's no reference to it or any of that. The worst part of that, though, is while we're having this conversation, I'm trying to one hand open a bottle of mustard. And it turns out that bottle of mustard, it's the flip cap, but I look down and I see, well, that's why it's not coming out. It's still got the seal.
Yeah, still has it's a brand new bottle of mustard. You were the you were the diverginator of the mustard.
Yeah, that mustard did not know what he was getting into when he got with me. So I held that mustard there with one hand. I thought, I can do this with one hand too. So I held it in a way that I could take my thumb and forefinger and peel the thing. Now, here's the problem. The mustard has been sitting out on this table for enough time in the sun that it's warmed up. Mm-hmm. So while I'm talking to Dan, the Tesla man, the cap goes and it explodes.
Oh, so the the seal you're
Yes.
pulling off, and that's when oh crap.
So I do that, and a big glob of mustard just goes firing up, lands right on Soldier 76's face, because Soldier 76 shirt is what I'm wearing. Just blop right there, big yellow blop. And he goes, oh, yeah, that'll happen when it warms up. And I'm like, I cannot believe I'm doing this, spilling this, and having this conversation with Dan, the Tesla guy.
Mustard bomb.
Mustard bomb. Wiped it up best I could. Lovely people. The other neighbors we got to meet for the first time, super nice. There's another guy that just moved here from London. He's really nice, amazing accent, smart guy. Just love talking to him. Like, they were all really nice. A couple of artist folks who were like super big into art, and they were showing me their work, and they were like, well, let me see yours. And we started sharing Instagram, links and all this. So a good thing was happening. But there was a point where I'm sitting next to Dan, who, by the way, turns out he thinks I'm in my 30s. I take that as a compliment.
Sure.
Because he goes, so how old are you guys or whatever? And I go, I'm 50. I turned 50 last July. He's like, shut up. And I go, I did. He goes, really? I mean, he looked like genuinely concerned that I was maybe lying to him. And I said, is
You
it
need
the
to see some ID?
I said, is it the Soldier 76 shirt? Like, what's the problem? And maybe it's because we're holding the baby the whole time because we had the baby with us. I don't know. Anyway, that doesn't matter. The point is, we're sitting there, and another neighbor who has a great big dog now, because Dan no longer has a dog, but this other neighbor does.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes their dog will poo on our lawn. They're very nice. They'll come over and pick it up. It's not a problem. But he brings this up. So he says, well, sometimes Molly, she runs over there and just poops right there on your lawn. Boy, I know when she does that. And I'm sitting next to, next dish to Dan.
The one neighbor that this was like the spark of the feud.
And I like to think.
You had finally gotten past and we're like seeing some calmer waters ahead.
Yeah.
And here comes another neighbor to kind of like unknowingly stir the waters.
I'm confident that both Dan and I had, of course we were both thinking the same thing.
Of course.
Yes. And of course we both just kicked it under the rug. And it came up a couple of times later and we just did the same thing and it was fine. Turns out this guy owns an arcade and a LAN thing called Gamer Planet. And it's in Sandy, although they haven't done well in the COVID stuff he was talking about. But anyway,
what's a LAN thing? You said he owns an arcade and a LAN thing,
like a bunch of computers all connected.
Oh, a LAN.
Yeah, LAN.
Okay, not. I thought you said a land thing.
Oh yeah, he owns some land. He got some land out there.
A LAN thing.
Land.
It's got a bunch of ET cartridges.
That's exactly right. Landfill. He's got to dig them out. No, he's got it's full of computers. They're playing Overwatch and League and Valorant and all this stuff all day. And then he's got VR stuff there that nobody's using right now because nobody wants to share VR helmets. Yeah. But anyway, we was talking a little bit about that. And I was like, oh, that sounds rad. I'd really like to go there. And then he wanted to hear what I was doing. He's like looking up the shows and all this stuff. And it just occurred to me, we were at war in 2015. Like, there was a war for that, at least that couple days. And then there was a long Cold War for 4.5 years. And now suddenly all this stuff in common. I don't know. There's a lesson there. There was a lesson.
Yeah, no kidding. Wow.
I'm still not 100% sure if I could articulate the exact lesson, but there's a lesson. And I think I learned it.
Be nice to your dick neighbors and your nice neighbors equally.
Yeah. And I kept wanting
because one of them might own an arcade.
And I kept wanting to say, like, we were talking about kids and stuff, and I said, I kept wanting to, like, when Nick would come up, he said, oh yeah, your son's is he into that? He's playing Counter-Strike. And I'm like, yeah. And I kept wanting to say, the one that put the bag of poo on your driveway that started this whole mess. I kept wanting to make the reference, but my brain would stop me and say, no, don't bring that up.
There's time for that. There's, you'll go hang out a couple more times. Maybe you'll go to Gamer Planet. He'll set you up with a card that lets you access free play all the games. Although he probably has. It's probably how it's set up, right? Is that you pay a price.
You do cards, and I think it's an hourly thing. I think it's $4 an hour or something like that. It's pretty cheap. It's not bad.
You guys will become friends. He'll have your family down there, and then once things are just like, yeah, there's my son. He's the one who put the poo bag on your.
Then everything goes back to.
No, it'll be. You guys will be able to laugh at it. You'll be able to go look back and laugh.
There was one other moment where somebody was talking about a guy's car that gets really loud at like 3 a.m, and none of us know who it is. We're trying to figure out who it is. And he revs it really loud, and it's just really annoying. And someone's made a comment that, well, somebody really should call the police on that guy or something like that. And I wanted to go, like that one night you called him on us. Remember that? Oh, shoot. But I didn't do it.
Yeah.
I didn't do
Yeah,
it.
it still might be too early for that.
So they're a nice little family. He's got a 1-year-old baby and a little boy who's super cute, and they're fine. Everything's fine. Everyone's got their stuff. I understand. Yeah. It's fine. And everything's fine now, and don't worry about it. It's been what is it? The year is 5.
5 years since we had the feud.
It's 5 years MMFR.
Roll down the window, yelled something rude. Na, 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 na.
Oh man, the Bare Naked Ladies have come up a lot lately. I don't know why. What's
They
going on
have.
with that?
Well, it's because I watched that Stephen Page thing. He's got his 50th birthday. Stephen Page is turning 50, and he's doing his own. He's doing like a 50th birthday concert. I think this weekend.
You gonna do that one?
Unfortunately, I'm doing the cover-thon thing. So.
Oh, did you see? I thought of you. Did you see they're still doing the Pokemon Fest thing? Pokemon Go Fest, but they're doing a virtual
I'm buying
one.
tickets. Hell yeah.
So what do you do there? What is it? How do you do that? What is it? How does it work?
They open up. They are going to rotate biomes throughout the day. So, this hour it's going to be an earth biome, and this hour it's going to be a water biome, and it's basically just going to be so you can play in your house or socially distant in your local neighborhood and your old town, stuff like that. And I'm hoping.
What are they charging? Because this just sounds like you're playing Pokemon Go at that point. What do they actually charge?
No,
for this?
it's they'll charge $14 for the 2-day event, and there's exclusive Pokemon you can catch, and actually a story, like a campaign, basically.
They tricked you into $14 micropayment. That's what they did. Because if you think about it, they could do that any time of the year and not call it Pokemon Go Fest.
Oh,
right?
they totally could. And would this be the first time I've paid for something in this game? No, definitely not.
Well, no, it's
a campaign. It's like a campaign that's not going on all the time, right?
Gotcha.
So you're paying for a set of quests that unlock another set of quests, and each thing along the way opens up alternate versions of Pokemon, and
they give you some free Pokemon balls with that price, a bunch of Pokemon balls.
I don't think if you're paying for it, they're not giving you anything free because you're paying for it. But I think you do get you do get plenty of Pokeballs. Actually, with this new, they've got a new buddy thing in there. You can turn one of your Pokemon into a buddy that travels along with you on your adventures, and he goes to nearby Pokestops and gets balls for you and gets gifts and things like that. So you don't even need to leave the house to go to a Pokestop anymore.
That's pretty great.
Yeah.
So it's like, what does that? Oh, Torchlight does this, where you have a pet and he'll take all your stuff back to town and sell it.
I love that. Yeah. Great.
More of that, please, in video games.
So my pet's a Swoobat.
Oh man, tell me about Can you describe a Swoobat so I know what I'm thinking?
A Swoobat is it's a bat with a spherical body.
Got it.
And a pig nose. I guess it's probably a bat nose. I guess.
The bat nose.
Yeah, but he's cuter than a Woobat or a whatever the other first generation bats are. He's got a round cloud looking body.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is. There's the one right there. Okay.
Yeah. And he just flies, and he's even got a little green gift for me. So
it's like
during
like a blue pine cone body or something like that.
Kind of does have a blue pine cone body, yeah. And his ears join at the top, so it almost looks like he has a Zippy the Pinhead.
Did you give him a name, or is it just named a Pooh Bat or whatever?
Oh, I could give him a name.
You should name
I don't
him.
know if I'm like. See, that's where I don't know if I'm that far, right? There's the I pick up the game and I catch a Pokemon here and there, and I'm not putting any money into it, but I just do it when kids are around to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the I name every single Pokemon. I give it a cute name based on where I got it or what it looks like.
Yeah.
So there's that spectrum. I'm maybe 2/3 of the way to the namey person.
I gotcha.
But not quite, because I'm still going out and doing raids and catching new things every time there's a new raid.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes, that's where I'm at.
All right.
But I'm not. I could name this one. I don't know what I'd name it.
Name it. I don't know.
I should name it Bruce.
Yeah, Bruce.
Because he's
I like
Swoobat.
that. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
When is this thing? When are they doing it?
End of July.
Okay. So
July 25th, 26th, I think.
Well, at least you'll have better access to
month.
There'll be better bathroom access for you than there was.
You know what? I had a great time at GoFest in Chicago. That was just such a good time. I would do it again this year were it not for
If they were having it, A, and B.
If they were having
if
it,
they- yeah.
right? Exactly. Were it not for all the things that why they're not doing it, I would totally want to do it.
And leading up to
See
this,
here.
weren't they kind of jumping all over the place? They weren't. It wasn't one city every year, right? It was a different place every year, or do I?
Well, they always did Chicago, and then they added a couple other cities,
okay.
yeah.
I remember hearing
someplace
something
in
about other
Germany
cities,
and
but
Shanghai or Japan, Tokyo, something like that.
yeah, somewhere in Asia.
Asia.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm looking to see what the date is on this because let's see. Pokemon Go Fest 2020 comes to you in all caps. I don't know. I don't know what the date is. But,
It's some
hopefully,
kind of, some kind
hopefully,
of
I remember to buy a ticket before the date.
yeah, I'm with you. All right, very cool. I'm just curious about that when it's over. I want you to. Well, obviously, you'll tell us here on the show what's going on.
There we go. Saturday, July 25th, and Sunday, July 26th. So 2 days. Sure. I'm sure I'll talk about it and whether I feel like it was a waste of money or worth it.
I'll bet it was worth it. That's my
I bet
bet.
it was worth it. $15.
I could be wrong, but I'll bet you.
I
Ooh.
have less than or more than that in the cushions of my couch upstairs.
Damn
probably.
straight. Hey, that music can only mean one thing. It's time for us to play a game and do it with our friend Brian Dunaway, all the way from South Carolina. Hi, Brian.
Oh, hi, Scott and Brian. The music only means one thing: a stroke.
Oh, is that what it means? Jeez.
Oh no!
I don't want
hope
that.
not that.
No, we don't want
Oh, are you not? You guys not still hearing the music?
No.
Is that-
Do you hear it? I hear it. Do you not hear it?
Saying?
I hear it. It's right here. See?
Oh, I'm sorry. I can do it.
Oh, I see. If you're
Hold on.
hearing just random music, you might be having a stroke. I see what you're saying. I see what you
You
mean.
smell toast? Is toast part of the song?
Toast
I
is
do
not.
smell toast, but I made toast, so I don't think that's a very accurate.
You neither smell toast nor
indicator.
make toast. Got it. Hey, here's a question for you, real quick. How come your state and our state are having spikes? What do you think's going on there? More than what the testing would suggest.
Do you want the hard, honest truth, or do you want the made-up pretend?
Give me the made-up pretend so I can see if it's the real one or not. Or you give me one and I'll see if I can tell which one's real.
I'm made up pretend. Let's see, made up pretend. This coronavirus was hidden for a little bit, and then it just decided that it would show late to the game.
Are
in
people
our state.
really saying that? That's crazy.
I don't know what they're saying. All I know is I'm saying. It's like,
Yeah.
duh.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we should open. 2 weeks later, huge spikes. Hey, I wonder why it's happening.
Yeah, weird. I wonder. Yeah, it feels like the logic is pretty easy to follow if you're paying attention.
It's pretty easy. I mean,
Yeah.
you open up, you have more people exposed.
Suddenly
It's
you
gonna
have more
increase.
cases.
It
Yeah.
just happens.
That's how it works. All right. We have on the line with us a very patient caller whose name is what? Hi, who's this?
What high?
Clacky D in Des Moines.
Clacky D.
Clacky D.
In Des Moines, Iowa. Iowa, sorry. Iowa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why that one broke in my brain, but it did. It didn't
That may help you with today's Battle Royale.
Oh no! Name all the cities ever made. All right. So hey, it's good to have you here, Clacky D. I think this is a couple times for you, right? You've been here before.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, good. Well,
Have
I
you
hope.
won before, or are you always
Yeah,
a
I've won-
bridesmaid,
I've won a
never a
few
bride?
times.
You won once, okay.
Oh, you have no idea what you're in for today because I see what our prizes are. I'm going to let Brian explain what you got to do and what you could win because it's insane.
It is insane. So, Clacky D, I'm going to be giving Scott and Brian a topic. They're going to go back and forth giving me answers that fit that topic. If one of them gives a wrong answer, they repeat an answer, or they take too long to come up with an answer. The win is going to go to the other player. Your job is to predict who's going to win based on the topic. Today, you are playing for a donation from Robert Queener because of Boop last week and Brian Dunaway talking about the bundle for racial justice and equality. He went out and bought a copy of it as a prize on Battle Royale. Now, if you're not familiar, this is like over 1,000 games and apps. It is like 57 pages of downloadable games and apps like Night in the Woods, Overland, Skyrogue, Celeste, A Short Hike, Gladiabots, Moonbase, Art
Other
School,
games. Brian Ibbett can't say.
Yeah.
That's right, exactly.
A bunch of
Anyway.
really good titles in there. Like the best indie titles currently, this list has them in it. It's super strong.
Right.
Yeah, it
This
is
was
huge.
being hosted on itch.io, which is a great place for indie game developers to distribute their games. And as a result, when they're going to call out for raising money, many developers were more than happy to throw their games in there. And as a lot of those indie developers have retained the rights to distribute their games, and as such, so I think they collected. Last time I looked, it was it was like over. They were trying to hit 5 million, I believe.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if they made it but they came awful close if not.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
I wish I was if I could keep any one game in here just to play it and see what it is. I would keep One Night Stand, which is after a night of fun, passion, and one too many drinks, you awake the next morning. ...
Nice.
Oh, wow. Well, you never know, right? They're giving you a little bit of a cliffhanger there.
They are,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, it's strong stuff.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. You wake up the next morning to find a complete stranger lying naked beside you in bed. What do you do? In One Night Stand, explore the unknown bedroom and seek out clues to identify who the stranger is and what happened to bring you both together.
Wow.
Too real, man. Too real.
Too real.
It's real to me. Wow.
That's right. Let's see. Make small talk. Find a way out. Gnaw your arm off. Let's see.
No, you're a mom.
I like it. Like
Anyway.
play it like Zork. Just say, go north. Go north. Quick.
Go north. Exactly.
Anyway.
Light match. Anyway, all right. So that is what you could win if you choose correctly here. Let me get my notes here in front of me now. Something else. Oh, by the way, Robert Queener says I'm donating this, but I have one request. He wants to hear a tender crisp bacon cheddar ranch.
Oh, I could play that for him. I mean, come on now.
Yeah,
Here it is.
The tender crisp bacon cheddar ranch.
There you go.
that's for you, Robert Queener.
Enjoy
All right,
that,
anyway.
Queener.
But before you even have a chance of winning that massive prize package, I need to give the guys their topic. Their topic today comes to us from Winmagus, aka Steven. This is an relatively easy one because there are only 11 answers to this one. There aren't hundreds that I have to navigate through. 11 answers to look through or to name in here. Movies directed by, not produced, not starring, not directed by Mel Brooks.
Oh.
Oh.
Mel
Okay.
Brooks movies.
And that
I've heard
a lot
there's
of
been a
them.
lot of talk about Mel Brooks recently, so yeah. I
Has
don't want to
there?
mention what movies they're talking about.
He's
but
not. He's not dying or something, is he? Don't tell me that.
No,
Okay.
no. Just one of his movies has been a big topic lately.
Yeah. He was born in 26. That makes him 96? He's pretty
2001.
90 something.
How do you know what year Mel Brooks was born?
How do I know?
Yeah.
Because you just know. You
Did
don't
just
know
say
that.
he was born in 1926?
He's born in 1926.
Okay.
Isn't he?
Remember that?
He's
I don't
old.
know. I don't have that on my.
I think that's pretty impressive. I'm now I am shaking in my boots because I had no idea.
You shouldn't shake in your boots, dude. I am not a Mel Brooks movie fan. I know like 3 of them. 4 maybe.
Okay.
Boots.
We'll see.
And
Us shaking.
Bobby Franks, by the way, wanted to point out that if you win this, Scott, according to tmsbattleroyale.com, the website where he keeps track of all this stuff, if you win, this would be your 100th win on Battle Royale.
Wait a minute.
Nice.
How does he know? How does he track to that? That's crazy to me.
Because he knows who won which one. Like he knows the winner. He knows the topics.
Because
for each
he's
one
made a
and the winner.
list and he's been checking it twice.
That's right.
Is he gonna find
Yeah.
out if I'm naughty or nice? Cause shit.
That's right.
I'm screwed in the middle of July.
All
No,
right.
June. What month is it?
Correct.
I don't even know anymore.
Let's give it a shot.
All right. So you've got 11th
11th team.
11th movies. Mel Brooks movies to choose from. Clacky D, who do you want to go first, and who do you think is going to win?
Well, since Brian doesn't even know what month it is, I'll go with Scott to win.
Who should start between us?
Brian can start.
Okay.
All
Oh,
right.
good. So I can finally mention the movie that's been much
You
to
can
talk
mention
about.
the movie that you've been wanting to mention.
Right. Blazing Saddles.
Yeah.
Written and directed. Well, co-written.
Written
right?
and directed, 1974. That was released. Written and directed by Mel Brooks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's
It's
go.
been a topic on Twitter a pretty good bit lately.
Yeah. Why is that? What's that about?
Well, it deals with racism, and that's been a topic of late. And people have argued whether it was a appropriate look at racism or if it was too much,
Too jokey. Yeah.
too jokey.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that. Gone with the Wind just got taken off of.
But it's back.
Is it back? Okay, good.
It's
HBO
back,
Max
but
Disney
now
Plus?
with a scholarly introduction, as it was listed.
A thing of its time, ba-derp-a-derp-a-der, like they do. All right, let's just do ones I know.
Well, good.
Ones I know.
Spaceballs.
Ooh, that's a good one.
We haven't found shit. 1987 Spaceballs. I think, well, it's one we watched for Film Sack, and it might be the only one on this list that we've watched for Film Sack. Because comedy is tough.
Yeah, comedy is tough.
There's one that I thought we did watch.
Oh, maybe
for Film
maybe
Sack.
we did, but I'm not.
We had
I
a
thought we
whole
did
discussion
Spaceballs.
about Mr. Brooks.
We did Spaceballs on Film Sack.
We
definitely
definitely did Spaceballs, but we
yeah.
did one more recently, and now I'm not sure if I'm right or not. But so I'm going to go with one I know we've never sacked. Young Frankenstein.
Frankenstein. Yes,
my favorite.
the other
Sorry,
movie that he directed in 1974. Young Frankenstein, directed by Mel Brooks. Very good.
Okay, let's do. I'm only thinking of the ones that don't hold up very well. Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Robin Hood Men in Tights.
I had totally forgotten about that one.
Yeah, you
One
should.
that we definitely should watch for Film Sack.
Terrible movie. It's terrible.
1993 Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Some
Kind of
people like
Robin
it.
Hood.
Some people
Prince
like
of
it.
Thieves,
I don't like
Kevin
it.
Costner one.
It's garbage. Oh yeah, Prince of Thieves. I'd watch. We should watch that.
Garbage. Garbage. All right. I'm pretty sure we watched The Producers. Is that not something we just
did,
sacked
and we
last
did
year?
do it. We did do it for Film Sack. I had forgotten about
Okay.
that, and I didn't want to say anything to say, "Oh yeah, we
I
did,"
forgot
because
to.
obviously it would have been a hint. So,
Right.
very good. We did sack The Producers and Springtime for Hitler. 1967. That thing is the first movie he ever directed.
Oh.
Oh. I'm gonna need the whole title, aren't I?
No, just parts of it is
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, just give us one word. Let's see how that goes.
Shoot. Okay, it's History of the World Part 2, I think.
Interesting.
There's no
Interesting
Part 1,
choice.
right? Right?
I remember that movie.
Brian!
Is that like Leonard?
What?
History of the World Part 1.
It is Part
That
1,
was-
not Part 2? Shut up!
Oh my gosh. Oh no, you took a step. Why would you go with part 2?
Because I thought in my
'Cause he was
memory...
thinking that was the joke, is that there was no part
Yes,
one, that it
that's
was
what
like
I
a-
thought. That's exactly what I thought.
Oh man.
I remember there's a scene where Moses comes down from the mountain with 3 tablets and he says, I bring you the 15. And then one breaks and he
Yes.
goes, the 10 commandments. And it was hilarious. And it was history, because there was never a History of the World Part 2 then. It's the other way around.
It was never a History of the World Part 2. It's only ever been one. You're thinking of the Traveling Wilburys, who released 2 albums, Traveling Wilburys Volume 1 and Traveling Wilburys Volume 3.
Did they really do that?
Scott, you truly beat yourself this week because I was all out.
That was it
You
for me
missed
too.
it.
That was it for me too. I don't think there's one other one that where he's like alone. I always want to say Rear Window, but that's not it. But it was
No, but
making
that's
fun
what
of that.
that's what it is a parody of. It's a parody of multiple Hitchcock movies called High Anxiety.
High
and,
anxiety.
and that is my favorite of the Mel Brooks films. As much as I like a lot of these other ones, and as much as these other ones are better than High Anxiety was the first one I watched, and I made my mom drag me to the theater.
I thought he
multiple
was
times to
just
see that
in
damn
it.
movie.
I wouldn't even have thought about
No, he
that.
directed it as well. Here's some other ones you guys could have said. Dracula, Dead and Loving It from
Shit.
1995.
Oh, was that with Leslie?
Yes, I
Nielsen?
forgot.
Yep.
I forgot that.
Oh,
existed.
I never watched that one.
Yeah.
Life Stinks from 1991. I just know it by name. I don't know anything about that movie. Here's the one I'm surprised you didn't mention. Silent Movie, which came out in 1976.
Oh, I don't remember that.
And,
Don't know that one
I
at
don't
all.
even know it.
no, it is a completely silent movie except for the word no, who's spoken by Marcel Marceau, famous
Really?
mime.
Hilarious.
12 chairs from 1970 is the other one that you guys didn't mention. I don't know that one either.
Oh
So-
my gosh, dude, that's insane. We were out. We were both out. So how would that have gone? I would have said History of the World Part 1 and
All
1.
you had to do was say Part 1, Scott.
Right.
Damn it.
Would you have? Did you have one, Brian? If he wouldn't have.
No.
No, I had
didn't.
nothing else.
You had
I was,
nothing. So
I was going to take
this
a
was-
stab.
So really, Clacky D lost because he backed the wrong.
Yeah,
horse.
you backed the wrong horse, dude.
Barely.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about backing this terrible horse today?
You'll get your 100th win on Wednesday.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. You're just a sweet guy.
It was a lot of pressure. I mean, we kind of psyched Scott out from the get-go. It's like 100 wins.
Yeah. Well, actually, I didn't even think about those. But the thing is, I was sure you would know more of the obscure ones. I don't know why I thought you were. So I was already nervous because I only know the dumb ones and the upfront ones.
I know the dumb ones, and that's the ones because that's what I grew up on. And
I
by the
like
time-
Mel
Life
Brooks.
Stinks was a serious one, right? That was like him being.
I don't even know. I don't even know what that is. Never even heard of Life Stinks.
I'm looking it up right now.
I've heard of it before, but I don't remember
It
much
is
about it.
American comedy drama film co-written, produced, directed by, and starring Mel Brooks. It is one of the few Mel Brooks comedies that is not a parody, nor at any time does the film break the fourth wall.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. It's not that I'm not a fan of Mel Brooks. I've never it's never drawn me.
He's
I'm not
never.
really
He's
into
not
it.
from our thing, is he? Like he's
Probably not.
Yeah, he's our.
We
He's
came
our
in
uncle's
right. We came
guy.
in at the tail end of his heyday, like young Frankenstein, Frankenstein, and
which is a
Blazing
fantastic
Saddles.
movie.
And,
Yeah. Yeah, like that. Like young Frankenstein, I think is probably the one that probably transcends most generations. If you're gonna pick one. However,
Life Stinks might even be. I'm looking at the description. This might be sackable because it was a critical and box office flop.
Oh,
It's less comedy than other things that he's done. Basically, it's like the equivalent of Brewster's Millions. He's a jerk CEO of a big company, rich big company, but he makes a bet with somebody, loses the bet, and he has to survive on the streets as if he were homeless for 30 days.
Nice. I perused through Brewster's Millions the other day. It was on.
I love that movie.
Was it on Pluto TV? I forget where it was at, but No, it actually was on Twitch, I believe. Someone was rebroadcasting it, like the Shout Factory TV or somebody was rebroadcasting it.
I've never even heard of that. And if you think it, I mean, have you seen it, Brian? Have you seen this Life Stinks?
I have
Life
not
Stinks?
seen. Oh, you're asking
Either one of you. Either one.
No,
of you.
no. I remember a movie. I remember it, and I can kind of see parts of it, but I never watched it where I sit down and went, yeah. But I did remember thinking, oh, Mel Brooks.
Yeah. Well, my main thing with him now is I just have a ton of respect for him and Alan Arkin. Or not Alan Arkin. Sorry. Getting a name.
Like Alan Arkin.
Who's the guy that made they always work together, and they hang out now. They go.
Yeah.
What's wrong with me? Carl Reiner. That's
Carl Reiner. Yes.
Yeah.
The two of them meet every day for deli sandwiches and Jeopardy.
Yeah, I love that. Like that is so great. In fact, I think there may be a lesson there about longevity. If you want to live to be 96 or whatever he is, you go to a deli every day. You make sure you get a pickle. I think that's key here. You get a pickle. It's good for your body. And then you watch Jeopardy to keep your mind sharp. See? That's the trick. That's why those two guys are still killing it like that. So I just have great respect for just like really old dudes who are still with it and got it together. I think that's rad.
For sure.
Anyway, hide the pickle.
Unlike
that's right.
us.
Yeah, unlike us. Especially me today where I really hid the pickle hard. All right. You know what would happen if he would have picked you first, Dunaway?
Yeah, I would have burned through.
You would have won. Done. You would have won, right?
No, I would have lost.
No, you would have lost. I would have won. Yeah,
exactly. You would have won, Scott, because it was just basically you guys had 3 each.
Yeah. So the bottom line is it's Clacky D's fault for backing, like Brian said, backing the wrong horse. That's what you did.
Well, let me see here. If you would have Brian would have said Blazing Saddles.
Mm-hmm.
If Scott didn't say it first, if Scott had went for that one, I would have been.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. There's no way of looking at these answers. And saying,
because Scott was saying things that I wouldn't have guessed.
Yeah,
he didn't hit any of the ones that I was remembering.
No,
right.
which is
right.
it's the way of me. All right, well done, Brian Dunaway, everybody. We're going to be on the Boop Show later today, 3:30 Mountain Time, talking about video games, in particular some really cool indies this week. I also went down a deep 4X strategy rabbit hole and did a bunch of comparison for a new game that just came out in early access that I cannot wait to talk about. So that's later today on the Boop Show, 3:30 Mountain Time, right here at frogpants.tv. Also, real quick, Brian, while you're here, I need the world to do me a favor.
Got it.
And so everyone listening, including you guys, if you want to, if you have a story.
Sure.
I need audio clips from people who had some feelings or experiences around the time that Mortal Kombat came out and the world lost its mind and the government threatened to regulate video games and the video game industry kicked in their own rating system, and it was all because of Night Trap and Mortal Kombat at that time. I'm looking for people's stories. Like, I have a whole bunch of stories about why I was into Mortal Kombat at the time, but I was also in my 20s. I'd love to know what, like, a kid who was like 12 or 13 and wanted Mortal Kombat at the time, but his parents wouldn't let him. Like, what was the story around your family, your life, your, like, all that kind of stuff? We need this for an upcoming episode of this revamped Current Geek thing Tom and I are doing, and we're just looking for some additional life stories from people to include in a really cool upcoming episode that's going to be rad.
That sounds cool. I like that idea.
Yeah,
I'm doing it.
So if you've got anything, if anyone else out there listening has anything, I'm going to mention this on a lot of shows, so you're going to get sick of me this week doing it, but I'm just looking for submissions from people out there who have something to say about that moment in time where Mortal Kombat made every parent freak out, made the government have hearings on video game violence, all of that stuff, and whether you think it had any impact on you as a kid, or if you were a parent there, what was it like? I was a parent of I was a brand new parent of a tiny baby. That's going to be a different experience than if you had, kids who were 12 or 13 or 11 or even, 18 or whatever. So whatever it is, whatever your role was then in the early 90s when MK hit and all that mess happened, love to get your thoughts. Send me emails, scott@frogpants.com, okay? Scott@frogpants.com.
With audio attachments or what?
Audio
or
attachments.
story?
If you can't do audio attachments, I'll totally take written ones if we have to. But I would really prefer audio if you guys can. Just your phone voice memo app, Android and iOS both have one. Just quick, little MP3 attached to an email and send it to me, scott@frogpants.com. I would love it. Love it.
Doing it.
All right.
Doing it right now.
I would love yours as well. All right, Brian, I will. We'll all see you at 3:30. Congratulations on your win today, and kiss our butts.
See you, buddy.
All right. Gosh, dang it. I really thought I had that. If you asked me, I had a gun to my head and said, was it part 1 or part 2?
Yeah.
I would say 2 because I thought that was the joke.
Right. No, it would totally be something that Mel Brooks would have done, too. So.
Oh, it annoys me they don't have that right.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll deal with major spoilers. And by that, I don't mean it in a negative way. We love having Steven on, so stick around for that. That's coming up right after this song that Brian has prepared. What is it?
That's right. Do you want me to say who the song is brought to us by?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Sure.
Big Amazing Stuff. This musical break is brought to you by Big Amazing Stuff, coming from the Current Geek relaunch. More details soon. Scott, anything you can tell us right now?
Well, other than that, what I just mentioned there, we are well into constructing this season. I can tell people that before the launch, there'll be a Kickstarter so that we can afford what we're doing, because what we're doing is expensive. We are going really hard into curated, edited, written content, like turning the show into a more of an essay-style coverage of sort of the nerdy topics that we're all into. For example, this is just a little tease. Our first episode is about where mana comes from as both a construct and an idea that's used in modern video games and tabletop games. But where did it really come from? What is the history of the idea? Is it religious? Is it philosophical? What is mana, or mana, we learned very quickly, because you can't say it wrong. We have a whole episode on just that. We have interviews with experts in the field. I'm not kidding you. This is like a big deal. Like, it's not just me and Tom. It's like we have a professor on.
Wow.
We have a whole episode
cool.
coming up trying to figure out why pro wrestling is what it is and how it got to be what it is. And we have pro wrestlers on. We have like people in that industry. We have all kinds of cool episodes that are like this. But I don't want to give too much away. So more on that soon. Tom and I are just getting ready to make bigger announcements. So a couple of teases there, but it's going to be great. And that Mortal Kombat thing is for an episode about how MK changed. It basically gave us the E for everyone for forever. And how did that all happen? Like, it's going to be great. It's going to be really good. Don't worry. Rainbow Bright says Jury should get on that wrestling one. Maybe he is. Maybe he is. Okay, that's it. Sorry, song time now. Song.
Yeah, let's go to a band called Cocktails.
Haven't you figured it out? I can't feel pain. One more piece they stole from me.
No! You must free their minds before you can free their bodies.
This is the morning stream. Pop Mother Effin' I.
And we're back, everybody. You may notice in the chat room, Brian looks like he's on the set of what's it called?
Spin.
I forgot the name of the show.
Oh, look at that! I like the weird Captain America shield that suddenly appears when I move out of the way.
It just stays there. It doesn't know what to do with it. That's funny.
No, it doesn't. But if I go this way, you don't see it.
No.
But if I go this way,
yeah.
Oh, it disappeared. Yes.
Oh, there it goes.
Yeah, I don't. That's stupid.
It is stupid. But I like background. I didn't know. But why Price is Right? Was that a built-in one? Or you just decided to put that in there? What was the deal?
I just decided to put that in there. They made a whole bunch of these available.
Okay. Yeah, I know. Yes. I remember a while back they flooded the thing with it, and I guess you can do your own too, right? You can put whatever
you can do your own. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Too much. I don't need that kind of processing.
No
background. So
no.
Thank you very much.
All right, that totally fixed the problem I was having. Like 100%.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
So I guess F you Skype.
F you Skype.
They did an update.
Of course, you connected in on.
Yeah. There you go. That's how we say it. Hey, welcome back, everyone. We're back, and it's time for us to call Steven Schleicher, get him all up in it, because we want to win it, and we can't win it without him.
Mm-hmm.
So here he comes, and here's his song. Where is it?
Steven.
Check it out. It's Steven Schleicher, all the way from Hays, Kansas, and from the headquarters of Majorspoilers.com. Steven, hello and welcome.
Good morning, Scott. Good morning, Brian.
How are you?
Good morning.
You doing all right? How's life?
I'm doing well.
Yeah. Are you? Let's see. What? It gets warm there, right? So you're in the.
Oh yeah, we're in the hundreds
summer
already.
Yeah, it's that's always a fun time. We were about 95 all week so far. Last week, most of the week, and today though it's cloudy and windy, so it's still going to be warm out. But we're going to have all the windows open and just let everything kind of blow around, and it's going to be perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody in my house has allergies, so I can never open the windows very long.
Well, here's the other reason is we were at this dinner thing the other night, and one of my neighbors brought up the fact that Utah has the highest average of radon gas that of any state in the union for whatever reason. We have a lot of ancient weird stuff under our crusts and stuff like that, yeah. But not only that, like there's natural forms of it that just come out of the shale and stuff like that. So somebody was saying, "Oh yeah, my neighbor he tested it at 4, and they said that's like smoking 12 cigarettes a day. You'll get the lung cancer from it." And now all I can think about is, I'm in the basement all the time at the studio down here.
Oh, no,
I don't want the radon.
All you can do is just get a little radon meter. You just plug it in.
Yeah.
I thought they had to test for it. Didn't they have to come out here and do like a big test?
No, you can get a radar detector. You just plug it into the wall, and like once every 2 years, it'll go off to remind you that you need to replace the battery because you've forgotten about it.
It's that easy?
It's that easy.
It's that easy. You just run down to the hardware store and pick one up. Well, I mean,
or I could do Amazon, I guess.
Coronavirus.
I'll do Amazon. I'll buy it on Amazon.
There you go.
Here it is. Corinium Home Radon Detector by Art Air Things. Portable, lightweight, easy to use, AAA battery operated, 2,000 positive reviews, $143. That's a lot, isn't it? A little bit.
Yeah.
So $143 or your life.
What's your health worth, Scott?
Yeah.
But what if I plug it in and it just immediately starts going beep 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 beep?
Well, then you call the fire department and they come out and they will do a better inspection, and then they will say, yes, you do, or no, you're fine. Put a battery in.
All right, let's say they find it, or let's say it's all accurate. You know what I heard that costs? That costs like, I don't know, $3,000 or something.
So do you have cracks in your foundation?
Not that I know of, but we had an earthquake in May or March.
There you go. So probably not a bad time to get that inspected either. So
shit. I hate stuff like this. All right, I'm going to do
it.
Notice
how it started out as a free warning from a friend, all of a sudden escalated to $143, then $3,000, and now I've got to buy a new house.
Well, you forget how cheap I am. All right, I'm gonna read these reviews and I'm gonna check it out later because it just weirded me out. These people are telling me about 20. Look at this. Here's the numbers. 21,000 deaths are attributed annually to radon gas in the U.S. alone. This and other radon side effects can be prevented by monitoring.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Also, you can get these little things that you can put on your floor, and if it gets any water in the area, it'll instantly start sounding, so you don't have a flooded basement.
Oh, so that's pretty cool. Yeah. Well, that I'm not so worried about. I don't know why I'm just not, but because I won't die from it in my lungs, I guess. But here it says radon is a naturally occurring radioactive gas that comes up from the ground and can accumulate into unsafe levels in the home. It is odorless, colorless, and tasteless. Well, F right off, you stupid gas. All right.
Methane is the same way. That's why they have to put the egg smell in there. They have to inject that smell into it.
I guess so. But the truth is, I mean, well, whatever. I'll just pretend I smoked 8 cigarettes a day, 8 to 12 cigarettes a day. I know people that do that, and they're fine. They're fine. Yeah. That's fine.
What's your secret to
What's a long life? 10 cigarettes a day. All right. Anyway, Steven, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about other cool stuff. Tell me what's going on in your world. What do you want to cover today?
Well, you guys were talking about coronavirus earlier with Brian, and it just so happens that we're probably not out of the woods just yet. There are so many movies that had already pushed themselves, and now they're pushing again. The Christopher Nolan Tenet movie has been pushed by 2 more weeks now.
Yeah.
Now arriving in, I forget what the date is now. I don't see it here. July 31st is when now they're wanting to push that out.
Now that also that started a domino effect, because right after that Wonder Woman got delayed, and then the Matrix.
Yeah, Wonder Woman 84 has been moved to October 2nd. Godzilla vs. Kong has been moved to May 21st of 2021. Matrix 4 has been moved to April of 2022, and Tom and Jerry are moving to May 21st of 2020.
Well, wait, what? In the past, 2020? How are they doing that?
2021, you mean?
Oh, I mean 2021. Sorry.
Time travel. Now I'm interested.
Yeah, I'm kind of bummed because I was looking forward to Tenet being this kind of stake in the ground that is like, all right, if movie theaters get their crap together and figure out ways to do this, that's going to be the first movie I go back to seeing a movie in the theater to see. But I guess 2 weeks is 2 weeks isn't that big a deal. I was thinking if it got pushed, it might be pushed by months, but 2 weeks.
I'm going to guess that as we get closer to that day, you might see it get pushed again.
Yeah.
I know everybody wants, so I think what's happening is everybody wants to wait and see what happens when Disney reopens.
Yeah.
And I think Disney China or Disney Hong Kong, I think opens this week, next week. I forget what day it is, opens. But I think they want to see how that goes. And then maybe they will say, okay, maybe it's okay to open movie theaters, but for people that are just like raring to get out there, got a little ways to go.
Well, the problem is a lot of the testing that seems to be pretty, they've been able to get some decent data out of, is that outside versus inside is definitely makes a difference in terms of spread, and movie theaters are inherently inside. So I don't know how they're going to deal with that. I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll see.
You can do all the spacing and the mask wearing, but it's still going to travel, and you still got to eat popcorn. Can't eat popcorn with a mask on.
That's right. I don't trust any of those guys that clean up after. Those guys are like 12 and don't care about nothing. They just want to vape and go to the concert. It sounded like the most old guy thing.
Go to the big dance.
Go to the. I don't know why I'm saying that.
So
at the boulevard.
At what point, Brian, do you think that the studios just say, we need to make some money, we're going to have to push these big budgeted movies onto direct-to-video?
Yeah, I think that I think they're probably talking about that right now. They're probably figuring out which ones can do that, and as far as I know, the ones that they've done that with, like the Scoob and
Trolls,
Trolls, things like that. Well, Trolls. Oh yeah, Trolls was you still had to pay for it. It wasn't part of the Disney Plus thing.
Right.
Onward was the Disney Plus thing.
Yeah, but that was already out in theaters, so they had probably already spent whatever they were going to do in theaters anyway.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, paying. I guess I would pay $20 right now to watch New Mutants at home, just to rip the Band-Aid off and finally see that movie. I don't need to see that in the theaters. Tenet, yeah, same thing for Tenet, right? If they offered those right now for $20, just watch them at home. $20, I'd do it. I totally would.
Well, hold on, is Tenet like a big old?
It's the Christopher Nolan thing.
Well,
It's
yeah,
the,
but is it a big giant IMAX kind of production type thing, or just a quiet little?
I mean, a lot of it looks like what was the last one, the big one that he did with the folding cities?
Inception.
Inceptions. Yeah, there's a lot of it that looks like that, but with time travel.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, he likes to go big on that stuff. He likes that format. So I'm not that you can't enjoy it in some other way, but that may be what they want people to do is see it in IMAX. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can wait for a David Tennant documentary about David Tennant's life.
That'd be great.
Oh, it's not about that? Oh, okay. Got that wrong.
Well, about Doctor Who, yeah.
Yeah. That'd be cool. A Doctor Who documentary called Tennant.
Actually. Yeah.
Anyway, so
speaking about
oh,
go ahead.
No, I was just going to say the Wonder Woman deal is the one that surprised me. Are they just all following the lead? Like everything's posted around Tenet, and then if Tenet moves, everyone else moves. That kind of
idea? That's kind of what it looks like. Because Godzilla moved, and then Tenet took its place so that it could fit in there and got pushed those 2 weeks. And Wonder Woman's the same way. They're all finding little slots that they can drop things into. But the weird thing is, we're going to find out come September whether any of this stuff is working, because you're going to have kids going back to college in many cases from all over the country. You're going to have kids who have been isolated at home in the grade school and middle school and high school system that are going to be back together, and that's when things are going to get very interesting. And I think that's maybe kind of what the movie theaters and the studios are looking at, is what happens in these late dates. Is it going to be okay to go to a movie theater in October, or are we going to be back to homeschooling come September 14th?
Oh, yeah, that's a really good question. I don't know. I mean, as a parent with kids in school right now, how do you feel about that idea? How does that land on you?
My wife hates it because she doesn't think that the kids are getting as much learning done as they could. But I think my kids are doing just fine in the way that the system worked before, in that if they were at school anyway, the youngest would have gotten his homework done in 5 minutes while the teacher is walking around helping all the other kids too. So I don't know. I think it's fine, but the social interaction is the thing that's killing the kids.
Yeah. I feel like that's I mean, no, okay. I want to put this out here and preface it. No offense and no judgment toward, I know many people that were homeschooled, okay? Lots of them. But in almost every case, not every case, but in most cases, the parents weren't able to give them the kind of social interactions they needed to not come out just a little goofy on the social side. And I realize that's a subjective way to put it, because someone's goofy as somebody else's endearing. I understand that. But almost every kid I knew that was homeschooled when I was growing up was a special kind of odd in the overall group. When you tried to reintegrate them, they were so different that other kids would tease them.
Did they do other activities? Did they participate in an out of homeschool sport or go to dances or anything like that?
No, and that's exactly right. Like, that's the problem. And so I wonder if in this particular case, let's say a lot of new homeschooling has to happen, how are they going to actually construct those experiences so the kids have access to that? I don't know.
Well, 20 years ago, we didn't have things like Zoom and Skype and Facebook and instant messaging and all that stuff. So my youngest is doing great. He has one or two friends that are his best friends, and you can tell about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, they all get on whatever instant message system they're doing, and they're live streaming with one another and playing video games and laughing their heads off and yelling and screaming and having a lot of fun. My oldest, who likes to go out and participate in sports, he doesn't get to do a lot of that because there's no sports activities that they can do. So he chats, I think, with his friends. I've mentioned before the Oculus was a great thing for him because now he can go online and talk and play with his friends in a lot of those virtual environments. So there are those kinds of things to get that social aspect in it. But I do know that in the first, month and a half of homeschooling, it hit both of them very, very hard in that I want to see my friends, I can't see my friends, those kinds of things.
Right. Yeah, I just think it's hard because now, even if you're a parent and you've got a plan, you're like, all right, we're going to do this kind of social stuff. Part of the problem with this whole pandemic is that you can't do the kinds of social things you would normally want to do, the sports or the go to the movies on Saturdays or the whatevers. So I don't know. This is just a special kind of challenge for parents right now. I feel bad for them. I mean, unless if you have infants, no big deal. You are school, but if you've got a kid who's, supposed
I don't know.
to be...
I think there's something to be said about, kids going to a daycare or a preschool or something where they do learn those social interactions at a very young age.
Right.
So that they can be adjusted when they get into a grade school or a middle school system. I was not someone who was sent to, I went to a babysitter who maybe babysat for 4 or 5 kids at a time growing up, but I never went to a preschool. So when it came time to get into kindergarten or when it came time to get into some kind of regimented education system, it was really tough for me because this was not just plop down, play toys, watch TV, eat lunch kind of thing. So those kinds of things, I think for young kids, I think really, really help.
You just described the life we'd all like. Plop down, watch TV, eat lunch.
I mean, that's kind of what I do now, right?
Yeah. It sounds all right, actually, at the moment. All right.
So real quick, one more thing. Usually the first Saturday in May is Free Comic Book Day. But obviously with the coronavirus, we have not been able to do Free Comic Book Day this year. But there have been a lot of Free Comic Book Day comics published. Marvel has said, hey, we're going to go ahead and release 2 of our Free Comic Book Day comics that you can pick up totally for free from your local comic shop on Wednesday, July 15th. So I don't know if there are any other publishers that are jumping on board with this and making July 15th the new Free Comic Book Day. But if you're looking for an Amazing Spider-Man versus Venom or an X-Men comic that I think was supposed to come out, Brian, at the same time as the New Mutants, because I believe, what's her name with the sword? She's on the cover. Yeah, she's on the cover of that one. So I think it was supposed to kind of coincide with the release of that movie. So if you want to go and get some free comics, July 15th is the day. Contact your local comic shop to make sure that they are participating, number one. Number 2, make sure they're going to be open, or if they have some system in place for you to come in safely to go get a couple of free comic books.
I have a suggestion for HBO Max, a.k.a. Warner Brothers, a.k.a. DC, okay? I think if they're looking for a way to truly make their new streaming service have a major boost jump, they go straight to that thing with Wonder Woman 1984. Now, I know there's a lot of money you're going to lose in the theaters if you do that. I understand that.
I haven't been following the reports. What are the signups like?
I don't know. I don't know how that's gone.
Has it been 30 days? Because usually when Disney Plus launched 30 days after, we knew exactly how many people showed up because Disney was touting, hey, we got 20 million people that have signed up for this service.
Yeah, we exceeded our numbers. We're well ahead of where we thought we'd be and all that. Yeah.
And certainly when they announced the Snyder Cut, which won't be available until 2021, that had a lot of people going, wait, HBO Max is more than just recycled movies that come and go inside of a service.
Yeah.
So I think there's still a lot of people that don't know anything about that service. So DC, I would not disagree with you that Wonder Woman 1984 would draw a lot of people to that service. I think if they're looking for a real quick short-term turnaround on the movie that they've already spent all the money on, selling it for $29.99, rental or whatever, as a premiere VOD would probably be the smarter choice.
Yeah, that's a good point. If they do that, they could probably at least equal or perhaps surpass what they were going to do in theaters. But then they open up the fight that Universal's having right now because they did Trolls the way they did. All the theaters are still pissed at Universal.
Take this to another approach. Now, DC Comics announced that they have broken with Diamond Comic Distributors, the comic book company that, or the distribution company that ships all the comics, a monopoly. They have said, and they said this months ago, hey, we're testing the system during coronavirus with these 2 other distribution companies. They have since decided that those other 2 distribution companies work fine for them, and they've broken with Diamond, and that has, of course, got a lot of people very angry and upset. But I think one of the reasons from DC's justification of why they went with these other 2 distribution companies is because Diamond wasn't fulfilling their end of the obligation. So at this point, movie studios aren't fulfilling, or I'm sorry, the movie theaters are not fulfilling the movie studios' expectations of, we're putting a movie out. If you're not going to run it in your theaters, then you're, quote unquote, in a breach of contract. So we're going to go to other places to do this.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be a way around it. Now, of
Right.
course, you've got the public ridicule and scorn that comes with that. But I think that that would be their best approach if they wanted to do Wonder Woman 1984 as a premiere VOD experience.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's probably a good call. I don't know what they're going to do. It's so weird. Also, HBO Max, which I really like so far. I think it's great.
Yeah, it's really nice.
It's the only complaint I have is that it's just marketing wise, just confusing. People don't know what they're getting, and
they really. I know HBO is their big brand, but they really should have called it Warner Brothers something.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
Because I think that would have been a better call sign. Because everyone knows what Warner Brothers is. Everyone knows what Disney is.
Right.
Not everyone knows what the Criterion Collection is.
Yeah.
Right.
So
and they're thinking that HBO Max is just a reskinning of the old HBO app anyway.
Yeah, it's
And
now
not
Maximum
realizing that there's anything
HBO.
more.
And like, what does Maximum HBO even mean?
Or they think it's HBO and Cinemax, which it's not.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. They own them too, don't they? Don't they own Cinemax? Somebody does. Warner does.
Showtime now.
Maybe Showtime.
Maybe they do own both. I don't know.
But see, we're basically
Yeah,
showcasing the problem.
Warner Brother owns
Oh, they
Cinemax.
do? Okay. Yeah, but it's another example of the confusion. Like, it's just confusing. And I know HBO is a huge brand, but it's not a huge brand in the way that Disney is a huge brand. And that is to say, as a service that would attract not just people that are like, dude, I'm going to binge Game of Thrones and see the boobies. Like, they want to go after the, there's tons of cool kid programming on HBO Max. All the Warner Brothers stuff they're doing on there is amazing. They, how are people going to know? If you call it HBO Max, it's just weird. It's weird. The whole thing's weird. But I like it. As a somebody who can get past the marketing side of it and just use it, I like it. It's good.
Yeah, Brian, what do you think of their interface?
It's okay. I was looking for the DC stuff the other day, and I know you have to. Well, that's the thing. I know you have to kind of scroll down pretty far to finally get to the stuff that's not HBO series and things like that. I kind of wanted a menu in the top corner to go up to and say, networks or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's what they need to do. And if you go over to Disney, that's what they have. They have all their Star Wars
National
and
Geographic
Marvel and National
Yeah,
Geographic all up there at the
exactly.
top. They need to take that HBO menu structure, move it up to the top. And then I think you would have, as people come to that as the first landing page, they'd go, oh my gosh, look at all this stuff, as opposed to, featured series Friends, Doom Patrol, Sopranos, Big Bang Theory, Watchmen. Well, I've already seen any of that stuff. Is that all that's here? I'm out.
Yeah, that's
So
the
if
other
they
thing.
move that up, I think that it'd cause more people to explore.
Front page is a little weird the way it works right now.
Yeah,
But,
and I only asked Brian that, Scott, because of Brian's web stuff.
Oh yeah, no, of course. And also, real quick here, if you're looking for, I think I've already said it on the show, and I know I have. Last week I recommended it, but all their old back catalog Looney Tunes stuff from the 30s forward is not just there, but in incredible condition. Like, all remastered, all cleaned up, as good looking as it did the day it aired in 1942 on some movie screen. Like, just really tightened up. And if you're into that stuff like I am, that service is almost worth it on that note alone for me, because I just love old Looney Tunes cartoons. But anyway, just a little side note there for you folks. All right, well, we'll keep our eye on all this and talk about it as things get closer to normalcy. Here with Steven Schleicher at Majorspoilers.com. Anything happening on the site or on the podcast you want to mention?
Well, coming up in about an hour, I've been doing a lunchtime game time where I just sit down and play a bunch of different games on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Majorspoilers. So if you're looking, today I'm going to play the beta version of Street Masters for everybody. Blacklist Games said it was totally okay to do that. So I'm going to do that today, 12:30 p.m. Central Time, right on our Twitch channel.
Street Masters. How do I know what this is?
It's a board game that is very much like a classic 80s arcade game. I'm sure Dan has talked about it before, but it's got cards. It's a card shuffling game where you pull up your powers, but then there's a storyline, there's an arcade mode, but it really feels like a punch 'em up version of a side scroller, but in a board game form.
Yeah,
so they've gone from
it's like Double
the physical
Dragon.
format.
It's like Double Dragon or Bad Dudes or one of those games. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So they've gone from the
Street
physical
Masters.
board game to an electronic version of the game, and it's in beta right now. So I'm going to play that today at 12:30.
I probably prefer this, to be honest. Because,
it's pretty fun. It can be very challenging, though.
Well, I'd prefer it over regular beat 'em ups because those bore me to tears. I've never liked them. Streets of Rage 2 was pretty cool, and I guess the new Streets of Rage is supposed to be good, but I'm just not a fan of that particular subgenre of scrolling beat 'em up fight games, the beat 'em up genre. But putting it in board game form, it's kind of interesting. I'd have to dig in. Okay. That sounds like fun.
As we close, real quick, my only thoughts on Mortal Kombat: 50 cents for a video game. That was my thought back then.
Oh,
forgot about that. Yeah.
You should call that in and leave me a voicemail about that, because I play that on this thing. I'm not kidding. That's a pretty good take. Steven Schleicher, everybody. He is the one and only Major Spoilers on Twitter.com and all else. Steven, have a fantastic week. We'll see you next time.
Stay hydrated.
Bye now.
See ya.
Hydration with Steven Schleicher.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Brian, do you want to hear a mashup called Monday Mashup Old Fatty Nuts?
Do I? Of course I do.
Okay, good. Because
Does
I
the
have
Pope
it.
Poop in the woods?
He does.
Does the bear wear a funny hat?
He does, but they both do. Both those are accurate. Here it is. It's the Monday Mashup. And like I said, it's got something to do with Old Fatty Nuts, which I vaguely remember. Enjoy.
You just feel a little bit of a or a and as soon as you feel the that's when you hit the button.
Oh. Next time you're out there, Brian, just pound down a whole freaking bottle of Pinot Gunnar or whatever the hell they're called.
Wow, that was almost the name of a wine.
I don't know anything about wine. Nothing.
It's been a while
since I said I'm sorry.
Dumped. It's been 7 years since I played with you. Got to perform on a stage and
took a poo. Jean Van Langedhem. How's that?
Landegem. I would say Landegem or Landegem, maybe.
Get it together.
Hey, open the bay doors.
Open
gotta
up the
take
airlock,
a whiz, eh?
Gotta take a piss. Gotta take a whiz, eh?
I drank too much Elsinore beer on the way up here, eh?
It's too much tang. You hoser, you drinking all the tang.
Which is Michael Phelps being kind of a Boy Scout, kind of being the good guy.
Michael Phelps. Is that right? You said Michael Phelps?
Michael Phelps?
Not
Michael Phelps. That's the swimmer. What's the guy?
It just hit me like,
Jim
wait,
Phelps?
Michael Phelps.
What's the guy? What is the guy's name? Jim Phelps, not Michael Phelps.
Okay, yeah. Michael Phelps is a swimmer guy.
I'm going to remove your head, Wabbit.
Disembody you and take all your limbs. And Bugs Bunny's going to be like,
hey, Bugs. Good to see you, Bugs. Our next auction is going to be 25 minutes in the holodeck with a fake Deanna Troy. Do I hear 100 quatloos? How about 100 quatloos?
Oh, my Lord. Shit.
Fly like the wind and a turd on the ground. Bird shit by Elizabeth Taylor.
X marks the spot. Bird shit. Don't you put them right into the veins in your legs up by your junk? That's a thing you can do, right? Just stick it in your junk.
I don't want anything sharp by my junk.
Well, I don't either, but I'm just saying if you're a desperate heroin user and you're all out of veins, maybe you got to go there. My wife could totally pull me off. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me back that up.
Oh, okay, Fisto.
Oh, jeez. That came out totally wrong.
They're tasty, but I think they're super fatty nuts.
They are very fatty nuts. You don't want to eat too many. You want to eat like a few.
I don't know if there is a good nut for weight loss because they are, oily, fatty nuts.
Look, Fatty Nuts was my favorite trumpet player in the old jazz time in the 30s. Old Fatty Nuts just really can
Old
belt it
Fatty
out.
Nuts.
Yeah, Old Fatty Nuts.
Oh, the way he played, man.
That's a good one, Jamie, as always. Jamie putting together some rad mashup work. Follow him on Twitter at TMS Mashups. I have some bonuses to play this week, too. Ooh, Brian. Very exciting. All right. Quick email. This is a great email because we finally heard from him.
This guy's become a celebrity.
He didn't even know it.
Didn't even know it.
This is from Kevin in Ann Arbor, Michigan. He says this. I don't like bees is his subject line. He says in his message, as the goof that used to leave voicemails on the Frog Pants line, I was delighted and surprised to hear that my I don't like bees line turned into an electronic song. My girlfriend didn't believe me believe me when I called her into the kitchen to listen until I said the line for her to hear in person. Although I don't call with as many nonsense voicemails or emails anymore, I am still loving and listening to the show, though. You and Brian Ibbotson have gotten me through some really challenging life moments with a smile on my face. Sending my best from Michigan, Kevin. Well, Kevin, in commemoration of this moment, hold on. I'm going to play it one more time. Here it is. Well, not one more time, just a time now. Here you go.
I don't like bees.
There you go, buddy. Well done. You created a meme.
So good, yeah, and you deserve all the accolades and title influences that you get from this.
Yep, full credit goes to Kevin in Ann Arbor.
That's right.
Michigan.
And Kevin's girlfriend, it's really him, man.
It really is.
It's really
him.
Kevin.
Yeah,
he's
Now that she's heard that, there's no denying it, right?
No, exactly. She has to believe him.
Let's do it one more time for her.
I don't like bees.
Okay, Janet, you now know, and you're good to go. I don't know what her name is. I made that Janet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did he say her name? Because I didn't see it in the list.
I made up
in the
Janet.
email.
I don't know why I called her Janet, but for some reason,
Janet.
I feel like he's with a Janet, not
Wow.
a Janice, not like Janice from accounting.
I
Janet.
don't know. He doesn't seem like a Janet guy.
I don't know.
Wouldn't it be great if her name was B?
Beatrice. Yeah.
Beatrice.
That'd
Yeah.
be amazing. Because he does like bee, is what he'd say.
That's right.
All right. Well done. Thank you for the email. I love that we heard that. I was serious earlier, you guys, about those Mortal Kombat voicemails. Send me those. I need them. Frogpants or Scott at frogpants.com. And also, don't forget, you can support this show at patreon.com/TMS. If you haven't already done it, it's a great time to get in. I just put together the art for the monthly thing, and it turned out rad. I'm really excited about it. And you guys got some exclusive Fred and Can art last month that no one else got. So slap yourselves on the back, I guess. But anyway, there's more than that to get, including bonus shows every week, all kinds of stuff. Content at the top and bottom of the show that we do every day that you don't get on the normal feed. You can get that. Anyway, patreon.com/TMS. Everything else is at frogpants.com/TMS rather. And that's it, except for a song. Play a song.
Yes, this is a request from me because I really wanted to play this today, and I didn't have a birthday or anything else lined up to fit today. So, this is from the soundtrack to a TV show I recommended for Recommendals earlier this year.